All right, we'll see if this works. We'll see how the quality is still pretty dull. I'll talk to IT, remind me. We'll see if they can't adjust that. It seems like this, other than the laser pointer, literally is completely useless. Like, it appears that it could do many things, and it actually does nothing that I'm aware of. Anyway, so, survey of world history to roundabout early modern times or 1500. Survey in this sense just means like we're surveying, we're looking at a broad swath, a broad period of time. In my US class, that's 400 years or so. It's a long time. Well, in here it's even longer. From the beginnings of civilization to about the 16th century or so. That's a very, very long time. And so typically, when you're studying in one semester such a broad period of time, it's a thematic survey. That is, you pick and choose as an instructor what you're going to lecture about based upon a theme. Like in my US history class, the theme is political, is liberty and equality, and how those evolve over time. In here, it's easy. It's the development of civilizations. The origins and development of civilizations and hopefully a truly global world history. I'm teaching Introduction to African American Studies this semester, and in that class I'm able to talk about tomorrow how, because I'm old, I'm fixing to be 40, when I was at Auburn in undergrad, they taught Western Western civilization. We didn't even teach world history. We just decided, Western, the philosophy and intellect of white Western people was so great that you just study Western civilization. You start with the ancient Greeks and Romans and go through medieval Europe and so on, and just study the world through European eyes. Well, fortunately, since that time, we've moved away from that, and now we try to teach a genuinely global history. I'm trying to think here, and I know about a third of you have had me before. Did anybody have me for World II, or are y'all just U.S. history veterans? I know you were, yeah. Nobody had me for World II, right? I guess you probably wouldn't be in here because these satisfy the same requirements. I was going to say my World II, from early modern times to present, is a little bit more Western civvy, regrettably. I'm an American historian after all, but this one's not so much. This one we try to genuinely spread the love, and so when we get to the course schedule, you'll see that we spend a lot of time in East and South Asia, and we're going to bounce down to Africa, and we'll do Latin America, and so we're hopefully all over the place. In any case, goals, I don't want this to be the kind of history class where you simply have to memorize, certainly not dates. Dates, I mean, it's not that when things happen are not important, but those of you that know me know that I will never hold you, or rarely hold you accountable for specific dates, and hardly accountable for a bunch of specific definitions or identifications of things. My thing is that we want to contextualize things and understand why these things happen, not necessarily just the what, when, but the why. And most importantly, why the hell is it important to you? Most of you are here getting a degree in something other than history, most, not everybody, but so why are you forced to sit through this class talking about everything from Han China to the liberation of South Africans? So we'll hopefully make sure that along the way I can maybe convince you that some of this is relevant to you in your daily life. So that's my own personal goal. Format and modality, this is of course blended model. You know this, you're split into two cohorts. You're here half the time, the other half. Everything is delivered through iCollege. Format-wise, this is a lecture-based course, meaning most days, not all, but most days I'm up here doing what I'm doing right now, pacing around and running my mouth, and you're taking notes. Your ability to take notes is the single most important skill that you will be either in possession of or developing in this class. So if you have not had to sit through a 75-minute class where you are pretty much nonstop taking 3-4 pages of notes, And those notes then being the most important thing that you have when it comes to taking quizzes or exams. If you've not been in that position and you are worried about your ability to do this, let me know before the quiz. Take notes on Thursday and show me what you got. Because it can be a balancing act between obviously not being able to write down every word that I say, especially I've found in the last 2 days. I've just been 90 miles an hour. I don't know what it is. And then on the other hand, just writing what's on the PowerPoint. You know, some professors, depending on the subject, the way that they teach and use PowerPoint is to pull up the slide and it has on it, you know, certain bullets, and you write down what's on there, and that's note taking. Well, that is not the way that it will work in here. What you'll have up there is a bare bones outline, and you'll fill in the outline based upon what I'm saying to you. Sometimes it'll be, you know, blatantly obvious that you should be writing something down if I'm banging on the table or doing this or whatever, but I don't always do that. So it may be a process these first couple of weeks for you to figure out exactly the best way for you to take notes in here. All I'm trying to impart now is if you're struggling with that, let's talk about it. And let's talk about it sooner rather than later. Basically, and you'll see this when we get to the course schedule, we'll have 3 or so lectures, occasionally a film. You'll have some documents or short essays to read, and then we'll have a quiz. And that process will repeat. Since COVID, the way I've been doing this is on the quiz days, whatever cohort will convene in here, and I'll record it for the benefit of the other cohort. We'll convene in here, and I'll do kind of a review discussion with you based upon the previous 3 lectures and whatever documents or essays you've read. And then when you walk out of here, that's when the quiz will open in iCollege, and then it'll stay open, you know, 2, 3, sometimes 4 days. And then the next time we'll convene, we'll reset that process. So it won't be every single day that you're in here that I'm up here running my mouth lecturing. There's the link to the YouTube channel. There's a link to iCollege. You should be able to navigate to that anyway. Here's the text. Just one book. Diker World History, Volume 1 to 1800, 8th edition. There's the ISBNs. They should, I'll go down and look. I don't, has anybody been to the bookstore? It's down there? Okay, you got it. Awesome. Good. They have used and new, hopefully.
Yeah. I think I just took the last few.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, hopefully they got some more. I don't know. You got it as well?
Yeah, I got the used one.
Okay, cool. And they still had some when you were there?
They had new ones, but, you know.
Oh, so, okay. Well, I'll go down there and look. Hopefully to God they have some more used. But if not, you can get it from Amazon, Chegg. I mean, this is a widely used text. You can get the ebook, you know, even cheaper if you're not, you know, like I would be. I would want the physical book, but if you're not like that, you can get ebook version of this, rent it. It should be not insanely expensive. Just make sure that you're using that ISBN number and you get the right one. You know, people will show up with Diker World History Volume 2, which like begins at 1500 and goes to the present and is obviously useless for this class. So just make sure you're getting the right text and that you have it by the time of the first quiz. And if you don't, let me know. Like if you order it hard copy from somewhere and it hasn't arrived, come borrow my copy so you're ready for quiz 1, okay? What else? Oh, the 7th edition I mean, you know how they do this. They make minor changes and have a new edition so they can charge more money for it. 7th edition is pretty close to the 8th in terms of what you would need for this class. There are a few of the essays or documents missing, but I can make those available. So if you, for whatever reason, are able to come across like a super cheap 7th edition, go for that, and then we'll make sure you got everything you need. I mentioned the quizzes. These will be on iCollege. No lockdown browser, open note, open book. I mean, this is just my acceptance last year that people are going to cheat. And you have to sort of make your peace with that. And that being said, in making it open note, open books on iCollege, no lockdown browser, that would seem to indicate I'm being sort of laissez-faire about this and very easygoing. That being said, I will absolutely bring the hammer of God down on people who Google the questions and cut and paste shit from Wikipedia, history.com, SparkNotes, so on, so on, so on, so on. And people will do this. Do not do this. That is how you will get a 0. Just use the resources that you have. Use your notes and use the textbook. Use the lecture videos, right? Typically these will be 10, 11 or so questions, mix of maybe a few multiple choice, but probably more short answer. And so they'll come directly, half the questions from the lectures, and the other half will come from the documents and comparative essays and stuff that I'll show you on the schedule, all of which are contained in the textbook. Those of you that have me for US, we were juggling 3 different books. Not the case here. Everything's in the one text, so it's easy and straightforward. 6 of those quizzes, I dropped the lowest one at the end of the semester, leaving 5. Add those up, divide by 500, and that's your quiz grade, which is 35% of your final grade, which is a lot, which can hurt you or harm you. More typically, students who are here, who are doing what they're supposed to do, taking good notes, maybe don't do so awesome on either the midterm or the final, or maybe both, but they've got a great quiz grade, they got a 100 quiz grade, and they end up with an A anyway. That's the way it should work. Occasionally, though, you see the opposite, where you've had this history before, you're really good with it, super smart and sharp, great test taker, should have had an A but didn't because you screwed around and didn't do the readings for a few quizzes, or didn't come and missed a few or whatever, and what should have been an A ends up a C. And more typically we see the first scenario, and that's the way these are designed. The quizzes are not going to be super difficult if you're doing what you need to do. Midterm, I mentioned 30%, finals 35. Final is not cumulative. This is like exam 1, exam 2, so we'll hit the reset button at the midpoint, and that is it. So if there is a sigh of relief that there's no paper to write or research project or anything, consider too that you don't have a lot of wiggle room to screw up. Certainly not on either of the exams, and not on more than 1 or 2 of the quizzes before it's significantly detrimental to your grade. There's the official line on attendance. There, I've already spoken to the issue of cheating, academic honesty, plagiarism. Also, do not plagiarize one another. I've also found that people think somehow that I'm not going to read one answer and then 30 minutes later read the same short answer. Or maybe you changed a few words and it's substantively the same. Like, it's not obvious to me that you guys are sharing answers. So don't do that. Do your own work. Makeups, come to me in a timely fashion. Don't ask me to make up quiz 1 in the last week of the semester, in other words. And here we have the course schedule. Before I go line by line through the course schedule, any questions about anything up to this point? Yes?
Do you have American history in an hour?
I do.
Okay, I'm in that one.
Are you in that one as well?
No,
Nice.
I'm only in that one. I figured out I was not in this one.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, perhaps some other semester you might also join us here in World. That's cool. Yeah, I do have US at 2:30 in this very same room.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's part of the issue, I guess. I requested all my classes in this room because it's this big and we could get more people in here. So yeah, feel free to hang out, dip out, whatever. Well, I'll be here at 2:30. Other questions? Usually I begin by saying, are we all in the right place? Typically for my own benefit, because I've shown up in the wrong place more than once. So today, obviously, all we're doing is no battery. Going over the syllabus. Thursday, are you all in here on Thursday again? I know that looks screwy, but the way I did it, I didn't want the same cohort to get the benefit of the quiz review every single time. And if you do it just one and the other, that's what will happen. So the reason it looks weird and you're here for a week and then not or whatever is to make sure that balances out. So Thursday we will reconvene and talk about the earliest civilizations in Southwest Asia, the Middle East, and Northeast Africa, i.e. Egypt. So we'll be in Mesopotamia and Egypt, and then next week we'll go to India and then China. Following week we'll have a short film on the Terracotta Army. And then that Thursday will be review and quiz 1. And you can see here, for each lecture there below it in green is the corresponding reading in the textbook. The way I would approach this, I mean, some of you may want to read that entire chapter thoroughly and digest it all, and that's wonderful. What you can do otherwise is use the PowerPoint outlines to guide your reading in the textbook. I'm not going to, on a quiz or exam, throw out a question from the textbook that's something I didn't talk about in here in lecture. Does that make sense? So when I say corresponding reading, I mean this is to reinforce what I'm lecturing about. And so again, you can kind of take the PowerPoint outline and say, okay, what are all the things Bagley's going to be talking about, or what did he talk about? And here, let me read those portions of this chapter of the textbook. And then in purple, though, you do have certain, they're either historical documents, like actual documents from the past, what we call primary sources, sometimes paired with one another, and they call it opposing viewpoints. And then sometimes it's just a short, very, very short essay written by a contemporary historian on an issue from the past that they'll call a comparative essay. So you'll see those in purple for each quiz period. I don't expect when you walk in the room on Thursday that you've read those documents and that you've read those portions of the chapter corresponding to the lecture. It's not going to be like a pop quiz when you walk in the door scenario. What's important is by the time we get to the red, by the time we get to the quiz days, that you have taken and reviewed your notes for these 3 lectures, that you've gone through the corresponding reading in the textbook, and that you have also read carefully the documents in purple. Does that make sense? You hear it? It's back. Yeah. I thought it was gone. The dying cat has returned. All right, well, that's a thing that we'll have to get figured out. I bet they can hear it too. I bet you can hear it real good on the recording. That will generally repeat itself. I touted this as a truly global and not Western City class, and yet our entire second quiz period is devoted to the Greco-Roman world. So we do hit the sort of Western City moments too. But then we're in South and Central America, and we talk about Muhammad and the rise of Islam, and then we go to West and Sub-Saharan Africa. Second film there on Islam and the early caliphates. And we have a fairly early midterm, which is nice to get it in there before spring break at least. And then we return to China and India, talk about the Mongols. You have spring break, come back, medieval Europe, quiz 4. Byzantine Empire, late Middle Ages, film on the plague, Ren and Ref, quiz 5. Age of exploration, Atlantic world, rise and fall of the gunpowder empires, end of class. Any questions about anything at this point? Anything at all? Yes? Okay. Everything clear? Yeah. Everybody have a plan to acquire the text in a timely fashion? Mm-hmm.
Could I record?
Yes, if you want to record with your phone, perfectly fine, no problem, or with whatever device, no problem at all. You sit on your desk, set it up here, whatever you want to do. Laptops are fine, you're taking notes, obviously. No worries there. What else? Yes, sir.
Would there be a need to record if all of these are just gonna be up on YouTube?
I mean, if you just want to immediately have your own personal audio, for whatever reason, that's fine. You know me, sometimes I'm a little late in posting the video, or, you know, so yes, the recordings will be available generally, but if you want to, on top of that, have your own personal audio recording, I don't have a problem with that. What else? What is that, do you think? I mean, what exactly, we have any IT, PC type people that would have any clue what the hell is making that noise? It sounds like the disk drive, but.
If I were to guess, I'd say the fan probably is being caught up.
There you go.
Are you posting your recordings just on YouTube or you're going to
I will post them to the YouTube channel and then say, hey, post a new video to the YouTube channel with a link to my YouTube channel in iCollege. Did I do Kaltura in the previous class? Yeah, so when I was doing like the me sitting at my desk Kaltura capture videos, those I would just post in Kaltura, which would be contained within iCollege, right? So in here, these on the phone, I'm just going to post directly to YouTube, but I will then say in iCollege, I'll have an announcement that say, check the YouTube channel, new lecture is up. And if I don't, please let me know that I failed and I should do that. What else? Everybody's good? Did I leave the Scantron language in this syllabus like I did the others? Or did I take it out? Damn it! Every single semester, you know, I've finished my various syllabi and I'm getting ready to post them all to iCollege and do my little welcome message, and I think, have you read through this? Have you checked? Usually it's the dates on the schedule that I screw up. But I swear to God, it's every single semester it's something else. And this semester I just forgot that, you know, we've gone in COVID days, I've switched, like I said, we're doing the open book, open note, iCollege quizzes, and we're not doing them in here as we normally would, so you do not have a need for Scantron forms. Did anybody buy them already? I had a girl in my last class who did. I was like, I'll buy it from you. Look. Well, $2 or $3, I know it's not a lot, but sell them to me, I'm sorry. You do not need any Scantron forms, so hopefully the folks in cohort 2 will get this message before they go below $2 on a pack of Scantron. So. How much was that, if you don't mind?
This?
Yeah.
Well, I'm dual enrollment, so it's free.
Oh, cool. Okay. What about, do you know how much the used book was down there?
It was the same for me. I'm doing enrollment.
Okay. Well, hopefully it's not a lot.
I don't think it was much. I think it was $56 maybe.
That's too much, but such is always the case.
I got mine on Vital Source. I got the ebook,
Yeah.
and I think it was only like $40.
Okay, so you can go to Vital Source to get the ebook a little bit cheaper. That's good. Okay, that's good to know.
I got mine off of Amazon, and I got the hard copy, and it was just $20.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
And that's the 8th edition?
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, if you don't have to go through the bookstore, I know a lot of people do. You know, for whatever reason, financial aid or whatever. If you don't have to, explore your options. You know, so there are options out there. And like I said, if it's hard copy and you don't have it in hand before we get around to the time of quiz one, just let me know because I got 1 or 2 copies sitting in my office that I can loan out.
Well, I was gonna tell everybody that it's on. They have it on Amazon. I already mine for $18.
Okay. Damn. All right. Well, there you go. So yeah, I mean, explore your options and don't spend more than you have to, for God's sake. I know. So I just found out. Those of you that have me for US know about Launchpad, which is the online version of textbook for that class that also has all those historical documents. And what was it? About $40-something? Is that right? Well, it's like 80 now. So. That's great to find out. And I walked downstairs to the bookstore, and yeah, they did the typical thing, release a new edition and jacked it up. I guess probably because textbook sales are down because enrollment is down like 20%. Not just for us, I mean, everybody. College enrollment's down like 20%. And for first year freshmen, it's like even worse than that, I think. So I guess that's their response to their bottom line not looking so hot. Other questions, concerns, issues, comments? All right, well, I'll see you all again on Thursday then. All good.